This video is to talk about the Unplaced Room Filter tool that we developed. First off, we'll talk about why we have developed this tool and how this tool fits into the workflow of your design process. In Revit architecture, after you have laid out your walls and floor plans, you then go in and place your rooms. On the room placement toolbar, you have a drop-down choice of placing a brand new room, which typically is a room with empty parameters. So none of the information is there. You'll have to fill them in one by one. Alternatively, you can also bring in rooms with all its information from your program data, whether it's Excel or database, and bring it in as into the schedule as unplaced rooms. As you can see below the new, we have a whole list of rooms that are already established in this project. However, as you notice that they're not sorted alphabetically, and if you have a very long list, it'll be quite difficult to kind of use this drop-down list to place your rooms and find the rooms that you really need. If I were to go into a room schedule, let's take a look at my room schedule. This room schedule shows me a whole bunch of rooms and a lot of information that can be useful while I'm placing the rooms, but none of those parameters can be seen from the drop-down list. I have here in this schedule a list of names that indicates the name of the rooms. A room code is the custom parameters that I've established for this project. This project uses a specific 3-pair digit numbers to indicate the nature of the rooms. Required areas related to the rooms. Area says not placed because that's actual areas. Once the room is placed, it will reflect you the number of the actual area. Departments that the room should be associated with, occupancy information, occupant that goes in the space, comments, and level as well. Again, oftentimes you may have a program established and you know that these departments and these rooms has to go into the building, but you don't know what floor or what level they're going to end up with. You definitely don't know the room numbers because that's something that gets established once the rooms are placed, and then you kind of go around each floor in sequence in some sort of clockwise or counterclockwise order to establish those room numbers. So that column is typically, the room number column is typically empty. So let's see how our unplaced room filter tool can help in this process. So if I were to go to my floor plan and in my add-in tab, I'll call up my unplaced room filter. And basically you will see all the rooms that you just saw in the schedule, but in this dialog box. Now if I go into my setup tools, and I will see a list of names, and they basically tell me those are the names of each column, and they correlate to all the parameters that is associated with a room object in this specific project. And you notice that some of the names are familiar because they are built-in parameters, but you also see names that are not familiar because these are custom parameters that may have been established for the project. So this tool will automatically extract all the parameters that's associated, whether it's built-in or custom. So if you check, I would probably start off by checking them all, by hiding them all, and then going back and say, well, what do I really want to see? Because some of these parameters are just empty columns and I don't really need to see them. So I probably want to see the name. I'm not going to need the number because it's empty. I wanted to see who is, what is the room code. I want to see the required area and maybe who goes in, and I want to see the comments. So then I'm going to go ahead and hit apply. All right. So now I've seen, I've configured my columns to show just the information I need. Now, if I click on the header of each column, it will sort the data based on that column. And each time I click it, it will be ascending or descending order. I can also rearrange my columns because I wanted my room code to be like right next to my names, and maybe the required area right next to the code. and maybe the other two columns is only needed when I wanted to see additional information, and the rest of the time I really just need the first three columns. And I can do that. I can further filter this list by using the filter tools up here. So the filter by gives me the same list of parameters that is associated with the room object. So I wanted to, let's say, find a room using my room code parameters, which has a number 5 in it, right? I'm going to hit apply, and it gave me a list of a sublist, and this list is shorter than the original full list, but it still has a lot of information in it. There's 5 in each one of these rooms that were returned. And what I really was looking for was ones with 5-6 ending. So maybe what I'll do, I can type in 5-6, or I can say specifically that ends with 5-6, and I can hit apply. And there it returns 2 rooms, exactly the ones that I was looking for. So I'm going to go ahead and place a storage room, and I'm going to put it over here, right? And I'm going to place the 350 room, next one, next to it. And if I hit show all, it will give me back the whole room. Maybe the next thing I want to do is I want to place an office, and that is a name. So, and I just say that contains, all right? So it'll bring me back, let's see, contains number, sorry, I picked number. Name contains office, and then hit apply, and there returns 2 room types. One is office 1, one office 2. So we have one is for single exec, one is for double exec. I wanted the smaller one. I'm going to go ahead and place it in the smaller room, and the bigger one in the bigger room. And that's it. I'm going to go ahead and close it. And when I want to go back into it, and guess what? It retained the column settings that I had previously set up. And in fact, I may have different needs throughout my process of laying out the rooms, and I can actually change that. So I can go back in and say, well, I may have one where I only want to see, I want to hide everything, and I only want to see the name and maybe just the comments. So I'm going to save this settings called comments, and I'm going to save it, and I'm going to apply it. And so this is maybe one of the settings that I like to work with. Maybe I have another one which shows me just the name and maybe room code and no comments, and I can save that. I'm just going to call it room code, and I'm going to apply it, and you can see it's got name and room code. And at any point in time I wanted to go back to the other settings, I can just go and load it back in from where I saved it. And I think I called it comments, and I'm going to open it, and I'm going to apply it. All right, there it is, name and comments. So you can have different settings, and you can save it and retrieve it as you need. All right, and that's about it for this tool. I hope you can try it out and give it a try, and let me know how you feel. If you have any questions, or any feedback, we'd definitely love to hear from you. All right, thank you.